This is KDXI St. George, Radio St. George at 100.3 FM. Creator of Energy Healing by Design, Nicole Ashton, a world-renowned healer and luminary whose life after death experience has allowed her the gift of empowering people around the globe to heal and grow into their true authentic space. Nicole, with her natural connection to Source, which has remained open since her return, will help you and your family find the frequency of gratitude and patient love that will assist you in awakening your soul's design. We now welcome you to Return to Consciousness with your host, Nicole.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Return to Consciousness, live with Nicole and April, and we have a special guest today.
Will Miller.
I am Nicole Ashton, and I am a spiritual healer. I travel the world learning from ancient tribes, villages. I go into temples. I go acquiring all this amazing information and healing and Eastern medicine to bring back to this to the Western states. And I do personal healings and groups and all this activations and kind of bridge consciousness to people that are seeking more. And you are?
I'm April Betty, and I'm just so excited to be here, and I'm excited that Will's here with us today.
Surprise!
Thanks, April.
A good surprise.
Yeah. So we are too, and we're happy that you are in St. George right now and got to pop in on the show. We love that, and we do invite others that have a message or that are very excited about sharing their gifts, and from nutrients to exercise to healing to compassion to nonprofits that just need a boost out to get the information out there. That there are avenues for assistance for other countries, for the homeless, for the things that you're involved in. We would love to be that outlet, and we're open to emails, phone calls, whatever feels good. You can always reach me at energyhealingbydesign.com or April
At handshealinghearts.com.
And any questions to Will?
You can reach me at lifebydesign.institute.
Perfect. Look at this group. So today we're talking about the art of being, and I always spell being with a capital BEING. So it's like learning through my experiences. Everything that I've learned is through life experiences, and I know that there are several different ideas of what being is, right? And so that's what we have us three. We get to each share what our sense is. And remember, you might not agree with me, you might not agree with April, you might not agree with Will, but maybe you do, and you get to just observe what pieces fit with you, and then kind of and go with the rest, shelf it for later or keep it. And then we'll have a meditation the second half, and we will be taking callers. And that phone number to call in is 435-879-4100. So the way of being, this art of being, is, to me, as I've learned through experience, it's a lifestyle. So it's like, I'm being happy, I'm being joyful. There's always this word that I kept hearing, it's being. I'm like, okay, so spirit, what does being mean? And it's like, I got shown, Nicole, you have this way that you do everything, because I had to relearn everything all over again. So it felt like that. What I do was like this process of learning, this process of practicing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to relearn to brush my teeth again. I have to relearn to learn this and relearn that. And it kind of was like this struggle, this like, oh man, I should know this. And then I realized, no, once you get up every morning, you brush your teeth, it becomes a way of being. And that way of being is a lifestyle, and you can choose that to be joy, to be harmonious, and it is practice. But once you get it, that being, you've done the doing, you've done the learning, you've done the teaching, and you're like, wow, this is how I did it. I give myself permission to be. Just be that love, be that joy. And it felt so good to surrender the constant doing, the constant overthinking and trying to fit in somewhere, just being. So for me, that's why the word felt so amazingly good. And I love your guys' input because I'm sure they're, we have this expansion of consciousness here. So whoever would like to share there.
Well, for me, being, it's like if I have to force something and it's not flowing, then I'm not just being, and it's not for me. If I have to force it, it's not for me. And when you take like one step in the right direction, then it just feels like you're just being yourself. Like, for example, if you're waiting around for somebody, like say you want to start a new venture, a new project, and you're not so sure about doing it yourself. So you're like, oh, I'm going to wait for so-and-so. You might be waiting for so-and-so, and then you see like, oh, a year went by. It's like, when are you just going to do it yourself? And when you start to go in that right direction of you being you, then you're like, oh my gosh, it's like you're home. You feel so good. So just being is just knowing inside of you what being is. Because being for me isn't what's being for him, and it might not be being for you, but it might be the same thing too. So it depends on what being is. Like, where is your home? Home is in my heart. Where is your home? It might be a certain location. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it just depends.
Yeah.
Well, it is. You're saying it just has different definition, right, to everyone, and that's true. Being, to me, really is. If you look up the Webster version, it's being as a state of being is your physical self. Well, to me, a state of being is the whole self, not just the physical self. And it's that heart and your brain and mind and spirit and body all being in coherence, if you will. I like to say harmony as opposed to balance, because most of us run our lives out of balance, but we can sometimes be in harmony, and that's when that state of being really comes into play, is when we let go of the past, let go of the future, and just be.
Mm-hmm. And that's interesting because come flooding through is being present. And when I learned that harmony, and that's what I teach and I've taught it since I've been teaching, is in the cosmos. When I crossed over in the heavens and the stars, whatever that looks like to you, is it was all harmonious, and all the lights were harmonious, and the frequency, it was just like you were in harmony with all things. And as I started bringing that energy and that love, that light to my body here in this earth, and I was thinking this human being was all there was, and I got to, just express and conform to whatever was going on around me, but my consciousness was still of the light. So I got a choice right there to what I was going to do, and it is that present moment. It's like you are this human being, but to recognize that there's so much more. So when I feel like, to me, being present in that moment and creating what you desire in that energy of harmony is going to propel your future into what you want to see. Because when you're in a really chaotic place and you're not being calm, you're not being in harmony, you're not being one with yourself, you're creating a future half you're shattered because you're not completely present. You're giving your thoughts to a piece over here, to a piece over here, to this person over here, and you're shattered, but yet you're trying to create a really harmonious future when half of you isn't, you're less than half in your present moment. That's not fair to your future. That's not fair to you. So I was like, Nicole, even if it only takes 10 minutes at first, an hour, and you can go as long as you choose to, but you sit in that, you're in the present moment, and you realize, I can get there from here. I can. And then you start moving out of it, and you'll recognize, wow, that harmonious future that I can see, that desire that burns inside of me, that I know I can have, I can't do that over here to the left. So you just go, it's just, let's go back to the present. Be. It's a state of being. It's a way of being. It's a lifestyle. You just go back and adapt, just like brushing your teeth. You get up, you do it every morning, right? Make cue times, or what would it be, cue times or key points of the day where you're, probably a better way to say that, but key points or pinpoints.
Yeah, key points.
Key points is that. So there's that you access your intelligence, you access back to the present moment, and you forget that, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did this again. I lost track. I wasn't in the vortex. I was over here doing something different, and then I probably created this chaos in my vibrational reality now, and you beat yourself up. No, don't do that. Go back to that key point that and say, no, I'm in the present moment now, and go back to what that future desire that this is burning inside of you. And that is right now. That is 2020. It's about beauty, but it also is about the beauty within. And it's about that desire that you have that is just you've had it for a long time. People are barely feeling it. It almost feels just like this hotness inside of your core. And you know what? Some of my clients are saying, I'm getting really sick. I'm getting this heartburn. I'm like, no, that is the lava inside of you. And the most interesting thing is all these volcanoes are going off, right? And when I was in Bali last week, the Mount Agut went off. A volcano went off. And I got to learn really what is going on inside of Mother Earth, which is going on inside of you. We're purging this to realize that life is beautiful. There's this beautiful experience that we're co-creating. We are the source of this creation. Let's take hold of it and let that lava. Imagine like this as this volcano was just erupting. I'm like, man, that's transformation. And it doesn't have to be destructive. It can be like, oh my gosh. Yeah, sometimes it's not pretty and sometimes you have to purge, but the point of it is that fire inside that this 2020 is ignited in everybody's body is either coming up with an illness or coming up with what is that called when you're just like you're awakening and you're having these psychotic moments. You know what? It's happening all over. So give yourself credit knowing this is the now. This is what's happening, and it's growth, it's expansion, and let that fire move into that desire. Fire moves fiercely, right? So it's like if you can do anything, realize you've never had a control of anything, but one thing that you do right now, you can direct that fire within inside of your soul to move to where your desires are. Sometimes of us don't have the details in the middle, and we focus so much on the details in the middle. You know, you've been given all this stuff that most people have been given what's not working. Why that is happening is not to focus on, but it is to allow you to know what is working. You wouldn't like I went to Uganda to completely face suffering. Haiti, but then Uganda is just there's this suffering that is just so intense. But I would not have enjoyed Bali and the experience I had there as much if I didn't do that. The contrast. And imagine that in your lives right now when you're like focused on stuff that's really not working for you. What is? That's going to map your intent. That's going to put you forward into what you desire. Right there. You don't have to know it. Feel it though. Feel it. And all of a sudden things start falling in place. It's not like you're like just give up and say, "Oh, God is going to take all this," or the angels are going to. I don't have to do anything. No, that's not what it's all about. It's about you still are moving forward to something greater, and you're still making those steps, but less focus on what's not working and more on the feeling of being where you want to be, that lifestyle that you enjoy. That's so important to be in the joy and that's unconditional love in motion, right? Wow, that was so channeled. Thank you, everyone, for listening to that because I don't even know what I just said.
Are you tired?
Did I take a breath?
You were turning blue, so I knew you had to stop sooner or later. Actually, you made some good points, though, especially when you talk about the fact that people get so caught up in living the same thoughts, the same feelings as they did the day before. You know, most people are living in the past because that's what they do. They wake up every morning, do the same routine. They go about thinking the same things they thought the day before, and their body goes into automatic motion and automatic emotion, right, from that. And they carry that with them. And it's just about changing that routine and being in a state of being, not letting the fears or the depression or the sorrows of what you continue to carry. That's a choice, right? And your point is very valid in saying, get these key points to remind you of what it is you are in this eternal moment, if you will, because that's really what it is, the eternal present, and moving forward from that rather than being stuck in the past. So,
and if you're having anxiety too, you're not in the present because you can't. If you're having anxiety, you're definitely not in the present because you're thinking of the past or the future. If you're just being there, you're not going to have anxiety. So that's just a physical thing that you could take note of, like, oh, bring myself back. And if you vision and feel it, like when you have those feelings of what you're trying to create, you're going to create it more fast because you could feel it. Like you could see it, you could feel it, you could believe it. It's kind of like visioning. My vision is clear. So the clearer you get, the faster you could create. But if you want to stay stagnant and stay in that whatever nasty place you don't want to be in, that's a choice and you're allowed to.
And sometimes you make the choice to go back for a minute, but I feel like that you've witnessed too. It's the quicker you come back, you can bounce back. You don't stay in that place. And with coaching, Will and I both do a lot of coaching. It feels like people always, a lot of times, most of the time, want guarantees. And you know what we can guarantee you is that we'll help you with your choices. Well, this is for me, and I can guarantee you that you made it through yesterday and you'll make it through today. You know, that's the guarantee you have in life. Is that and the rest is up to you, and to realize that you made it through yesterday. You've made it through all this stuff, and I feel like sometimes people don't give themselves credit for making it through those pieces, because with as many clients as you see, as I see, and as you work with in your nonprofit, and I feel like you coach too. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't think that that's ever been expressed. So you coach in different ways, and we should share that on maybe under the webpage. So people that if they choose to reach out to us, that under the post or under the what do you call it?
The link.
The comments. Just write what interests you, and ask one of us a question, because we all get on that. We all have access to answering you, or you can email us all in our own, and we'll share that in a minute. However, so and that was really important, because I feel like a lot of people are looking out or are seeking people to assist them in small ways, big ways, and some think, well, that's just too much. That's too. This other person has this huge air quote issue, and so I feel like I'm just taking time. No, reach out. Little questions is what gets you into the consciousness stream of your truth, because until those questions are asked with inside of your soul, you don't even know your own internal discernment. So we invite you to reach out and comment and share your stories of healing. And again, if you're an energy worker, a light walker, a minister, a reverend, a holistic person, all of the above, we are here for an open source, so people can reach out and know that there's people out there that love and support them always, no matter where you're at in your life.
It lines up too, because interesting, like when you're just open to it, it'll come. Some people aren't ready. Like you could reach out and say, hey, I'm here for you, I could help you. And they're just like, you're not the one for them, and that's okay. And then there's someone else where they're like, you could feel it, they're the one, and then you have a 3-hour conversation or whatever it may be, And so like you just have that feeling. So you really have to go inward in yourself and feel how you feel and get comfortable with your feelings. And so the nastier your feelings are, the better your feelings will be one day. So for me, like my experiences, I'm good at many things because I was an FF minus at many things at one time. It's the truth. So, if you suck at something right now, be like, one day I'm going to be an A+ at that.
Did you make up an FF minus?
No, I used to grade my granddaughter when she'd come over, and they'd be like, how was she? I'd be like, the truth, she was a C-, or she's like all grade fair on that.
I like to remind people that, we are here as a spiritual being for a physical experience. And it's okay. We need to experience everything, good and bad, or we wouldn't be experiencing. We created, as you said earlier, we're co-creators. We created this idea of going out to experience in this 3-dimensional body, in this 3-dimensional world. And if you go back to remembering that, we get so caught up in this human body that we forget that that's not who we are at all. We're really the spiritual being here for a physical experience, and to learn and grow from that as a spiritual being, not the other way around. So,
and your spirit is benevolent. Benevolent. There you go. Thank you. that it's this beautiful soul of light and cooperation. And as you connect to that and bring it into the physical, a lot of people, most people, don't realize you can bring it outside of yourself, because we're swimming through the universe every day. And I'm not challenging, I'm opening up a conversation that came into my head is we are a spiritual being having, I feel like that we're witnessing in this time human conditioning. It's almost like the experience is so conditioned by the collective consciousness that the choice of everyday life is really programmed into every human's head, and like choices are not even there anymore. Does that make sense?
Well, absolutely it does. And it feels like the choices aren't there anymore. I think what we're witnessing and experiencing is the change of that, right? This old conditioning and belief that we've been caught into to a new idea of we are co-creators. We are we do have the ability to take the current life I have and create a brand new life at any time, in any place, right? And people get so caught up in the old fear and the old paradigm, they're frozen by fear. Every day I talk to people, family members, non-family members, clients, just people on the street who are so frozen by fear. Mm-hmm. And in a state of being, there is no fear. Even if you're not in the best place, the state of fear goes away when you have that being, if you will, and then you can make clear, conscious decisions and move forward at that point. Until you get out of that frozen place of fear and depression and anxiety and everything that comes with that, it's very difficult to move on. I mean, that's why we teach people in our practices that meditation is such a big part of what you need to do every day. You need to spend time letting go of all that and allowing divine source, if you will, to connect with you, because you are a part of divine source, and that attachment is necessary.
And giving permission for some healers that have come to me, and energy workers, light walkers, etc., have shared with me that the fear, they're like, I feel this fear, and I've experienced it myself, and I'm like, what am I sitting with this fear for? Because I know I'm not scared, but the only identifiable word is fear. I sat with this last week, and I sat with it in Bali. It's not fear. It's excitement with an intensity that we haven't experienced yet. So these light workers are like, oh my gosh, I know I'm moving forward. I know something's happening, but I have all of this energy happening inside me. It must be fear. It's not. Really sit with yourself, breathe in, and ask yourself, what is this? And you're going to find there's this expression of excitement that's just like burning in your soul, but yet you're like, oh, but it's something that's so unusual to me and foreign to me, and I don't really see anybody else doing it. It's because light workers are waking up to your authentic design. We've lived in this world designed by somebody else for somebody else, and now it's a time for you to take back your independent, unique design, your fundamental ray, really sit in it and realize that's an excitement coming from Mother Earth and the connection to all that is, and it's inviting you to be your best self. You're the best expression of yourself, and remember, everyone's not perfect. Actually, no one is. No one has, because my perfect is different than your perfect anyway. So, I mean, who can, and always remember there's no competition outside of this realm. There's none. So none of us are in competition of our gifts. We are invited by the Spirit, by the angels, by the Creator, by Source, by God to be God. We're created in a spark of light, like I always say, and unconditional love and greatness. We're sent here to do the rest. So step into that unique self of yours. Embrace that feeling of the old idea of fear. It's not. It's excitement. There's a fire inside you to move forward fearlessly in your gifts, in your abilities, and love you with everything you have, so that other people's ideas of who you are become the most amazing expression for them to guide themselves into self-love, because you'll see that you love yourself. It's going to get contagious. It's going to be contagious. I'm Nicole Ashton. You can reach me at energyhealingbydesign.com, and you are
April Betty, handshealinghearts.com.
Will Miller, liveawaregroup.org.
And we will be right back for the second half.
Hola, I am composer Elvio Barilari, host of Fiesta. On our next program, we will feature the Brazilian composer Edino Krieger, a fantastic living composer, and we are going to feature his orchestral music, chamber music, and vocal music as well. Next on Fiesta.
Fiesta, Thursdays at noon on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM.
The Smart Shoppers Club allows you to save money and get money back from local shopping. How? On Thursday, January 16th at 7 p.m., the Smart Shoppers event at Tiffany's Creperie on Valley View and Dixie Drive will discuss details of the new way to save money while locally shopping. The Smart Shoppers event, Thursday, January 16th at Tiffany's Creperie.
Get involved with your youth sports at the Washington City Community Center. The youth soccer leagues for boys and girls grades kindergarten through 8th grade are available now. Games will begin February 29th and registration ends February 1st. For more information and details, please visit washingtoncity.org. The Washington City Community Center. Something for everyone, all in one place.
Hola, te saluda Zoe y te invito a que nos escuches los lunes y los miércoles durante mi programa de 6 a 7 de la tarde, hora local, con música, noticias, invitados y más. Solo aquí en Radio St. George 100.3 FM.
This is Hannah with your Radio Dixie calendar for Wednesday, January 15th. From 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., there is Club Rush in the Outdoor Diagonal. From 2:30 to 3:30 p.m., there is a Club Council meeting in the Gardner Center, Conference Room D. And from 5:30 to 7 p.m., there is the Utah Health Scholars Service Fair in the Holland Building, Room 537. And that's your calendar on Radio Dixie 91.3.
Listen on your mobile device with the TuneIn app. Search for Radio St. George.
You're listening to Radio St. George 100.3 FM. We now welcome you back to Return to Consciousness with your host, Nicole.
Hello, and welcome back to the second half of Return to Consciousness, live with Nicole and April, and special guest William Miller. We call him Will. He is. Do you want to share a little bit about you?
I've been a life coach for a lot of years. I'm an entrepreneur and own businesses, and I've really set on a mission to help people just find their divine self and change, the world along with us all, right? So. And
what about you, April?
What about me?
For those that don't know April, what can we share?
I'm a crazy girl. No. I have a nonprofit called Hands Healing Hearts, and I like to do work with a lot of people and go on humanitarian trips, and I'm blessed to see the transformation that people giving and receiving both get at the end of the day. And I'm also a realtor, and I just am me. I do a lot of stuff with addicts, and I love positive, I love love, and I love life.
And how can people get a hold of you?
They could call me at 702-686-7056.
And what about you, William?
The best way to get a hold of me is Will Miller at lifebydesign.org.
And I'm Nicole Ashton, and you can reach me at energyhealingbydesign.com. And why this is important to honor you guys is because we do this as voluntarily to show up and assist people in so many different ways. And the most, this is an outlet for holistic, for wellness, for nutrition, for new ideas, for theology. I mean, not necessarily better word, but exploratory. I don't know.
Theology's fine.
Okay.
Philosophy.
There you go. Just all these ideas with that we can share in a positive place. That I feel like, as in traveling the world, what I've realized is respecting people for where they're at that time. Because with 8 billion people, I believe there is now, none of us have the same perception. Not one of us. And so for you to think that somebody should think like you or feel like you or walk this way or talk this way is really ridiculous. And I'm sorry. I don't want to get bad reviews for
Don't
that.
be sorry.
But it is ridiculous because as you watch and you love and you go to other countries and you feel that there's this communication breakdown per se, or you have to words and anything else is ideas or thoughts, beliefs are pretty much out the window because you are communicating through action and love, and people don't really want to know how much you know. They want to feel how much you love. And once that is established, you learn the origin of human, and that is to express like love, to learn their cultures, and you see a cooperation in life. It's not all that harmonious. We know it's the world is as it is now, but you as an individual, if you can just look at people that way, as in they're doing the best they can, and realize that we don't have the same perceptions and respect people. You can completely disagree with them. Doesn't mean you hate them or that they're wrong or right or you're wrong or right. It just means that that's how it is, and that's what you know and they know. And that's why I always say this is spirit guided, and what I share on here is things that I get, things that come to me, and my experience. I only share what I've experienced through traveling the world and my death. So we're going to go into a short meditation. I'm going to ask if you guys have anything to share about the volcano energy, because that's really what I'm going to bring in right now. Is the Mount of Good and what's really going on, because there's several volcanoes going off right now.
Well, that is interesting because I have it's like a night light next to my bed. It's like a dome. It looks kind of like a volcano, and I was holding it last night, and it gets really, really hot, like so hot it's almost like a heater. But it was almost like you might catch on fire, and even and I didn't turn it off. But even in the middle of the night, I was like, it could catch on fire. So it's just funny, thinking of hot and heat, and it's not a volcano, but it's hot.
She goes to bed with a volcano every night, is what she's telling us.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? It might be a way to access the intelligence from the volcanoes is by getting a sleep lava lamp.
Maybe.
We're really all tied to the earth through the same vibration. You know, mm-hmm. we all run at about the same frequency as Mother Earth, and I think Mother Earth responds to us, and we respond to her. And I think that's all that's going on with what's happening across the world. As you know, there's meridians and ley lines on the earth, and all these volcanoes tie together. And it's all energy. It's that frequency we're all at. It's part of the change, part of the upheaval. There's got to be upheaval for change, right? Mm-hmm. You have to want to change to change.
And what do those ley lines line up to?
Mount Shasta?
And Orion's Belt, right?
That's right.
Yep.
Yes.
I thought I was in the idea that that was it, if I remembered right. But right now I can feel a lot of people are calling and connecting to me. So I'm so very excited to do a meditation to get us all connected, and then we'll go ahead and take that call because I feel like that's important. So please call back in 5 minutes.
Call back, please.
So maybe we'll take the call. Should we do that? See if Nicole can do it.
I think we should take the call. We're so excited. I'm so excited.
Hello. You are live on Return to Consciousness, live with Nicole and April and special guest Will Miller.
I don't have a whole lot of questions, but I wanted to call in and just see what you had for me and tell you thank you for all you guys are doing.
It's an honor to be able to serve at this level of light. How can we assist you, or a question that you may have?
Maybe just I've been working a lot on the self-love, and I 100% agree with you about establishing that love in others. Until that's there, until it's in yourself even, no growth can happen.
Right.
But maybe just what's the next thing for me? What's a little piece of advice that might help me with where I'm at in my journey of self-love and acceptance of the world and different belief systems and deprogramming a lot of what I've been raised with.
So perfect. This is a perfect time to go ahead and bring in the meditation, as we'll go ahead and we will use it. I will work with you in the meditation that we're going to use, if that is okay. Do I have permission?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. We're going to invite you to sit back and be in a comfortable space. If you're driving, if others are listening at the time, sometimes you do check out. So I would pull over, listen to this later. Energy knows no time or distance, and it'll show up when you need. As far as the caller goes, I'm going to invite you to take 5 belly breaths. The belly breaths look like deep breaths through your nose. You hold it in your stomach and you release. These 5 breaths are allowing you to connect to the spirit. That's like the spirit, that's the universe. It's swimming around us every day, available to us, and it's waiting for us to connect in the highest vibrational expression of ourselves that we can. And the questions that you're asking are right there. I see, sense, and I just feel and know that you have been doing your work. And around you right now, you might feel it on your skin. There's an essence of you surfacing, sharing with you, you've already done the work. Now allow it through that breath to move through your nose. Allow and accept it in your body. So when you're holding that breath, so you're breathing in, and you're holding that in-breath for as long as it feels right. And on the out-breath, you are breathing the white light all around you. So as you're sitting in this purity of light, this unconditional love, imagine it being intensified from a beautiful light above. This most illuminating light that is just beaming, unfailing love for you. You're going to witness it move down atop the top of your head, move through every one of the energy centers in your body, reminding your body that as these centers, 7 of them, clear and cleanse, it also moves a healing energy, an activation to each one of your cells, to your organs, to the blood, and to the bone. This breath is clearing every piece of you. It's reminding you of your greatness. It's reminding you you're already whole. And as you breathe in, and that consciousness in each one of those centers expand, feel that through every breath. You're feeding this desire to seek clarity, to find your place. And then shift that a little bit and tell yourself, I'm here. I have arrived. Now I get to accept who I am. And then feel that desire move forward and really bring up that volcano, that energy from the Mother Earth that so many volcanoes are going off to offer us the opportunity to vibrationally match those volcanoes so that we can access that energy. That's why she offers those to us. Feel that at the bottom of your feet and bring that up. Bring that burning desire to explore more, to seek more. You may not have all of the answers right now, but you do have this feeling, and this feeling of connection and of desire is realer than anything that you can tangibly touch right now. So feel that move through the entire body, swirling just like a celebration of light. And you have like this volcano has the red fire, but also has the blue and has the yellow. It's just moving up your body. That white light is moving down your body, and you're going to feel this integration of the divine, of that Godhead, of the Creator, of the Source, and the Mother Earth, the feminine design. That physical form that is seeking to connect heaven and earth, and you are doing it right now. And as this is happening, feel every cell of your body celebrating, and then witness the sun above your head really showering you in this time, space, and vibrational reality that you've chose to be in at this time. And as your body's tingling and you're moving back into this world, allow yourself to feel like your feet are on the sand or the rocks or trees, trunks are moving up your legs, really grounding you and embodying this into every piece of you. The light can move down and around and be within you and around you, but the most constructive or the most beneficial way is to be embodied, because embodied in every cell of you, and then connected to Mother Earth, because to be the vessel of light, to be the seeders of light, you have the opportunity to ground it into Mother Earth and absorb the most of the light that you are. Because this is your light. Everyone that's connecting to this light, it's yours. Independently, you're doing the work. And collectively, we're holding each other in a very beautiful space. So, are you still with us? Or some people go out about then?
No,
okay.
No, thank you.
Oh, you are welcome. How are you feeling?
Good. That was awesome. I really appreciate it.
Amazing. So do you encourage other people that are seeking a healing to reach out every Wednesday? Because we will have time for one or two at the end of the show.
Yeah, I will, definitely.
Okay.
You've changed my life. So thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you. And many, many blessings. And we will talk to you soon, and maybe talk to you next week. Have an amazing day.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. So we also have, we are doing, it's on Facebook under Energy Healing by Design. There's going to be an angelic channel or an influx of light on September 6th. And all the information is there under Energy Healing by Design.
Are you sure it's September 6th?
I just am going to say that I am wrong. I think.
Okay, that's as far away. I just wanted to say
it's February 6th.
Okay,
I think I'm going to Peru then. So, anyways,
you just skipped a lot of months. Yes, it's
you just took us to the end of the year.
I'm already in Peru. So February 6th, it's going to be at 7:00, and the address is on the Facebook, and it's very limited because the Angel channel is the first public channel that I will do. So we're very, very excited about opening up that the newness, just jumping into it, right? Here we go. So we do have another caller. Let me see if I can.
Yay.
Do this. Hello, and welcome to Return to Consciousness. You are live with Nicole, April, and William. Are you there?
Hi.
Hello.
Yes. Hi. First off, I wanted to say thank you. I think your show's amazing. And then
thank you.
My question is about being in the now and like part of the awakening process, right? And you are present, but sometimes thoughts creep up and you are kind of thinking like, gosh, I shouldn't be having this thought. And I guess my question is, what do you recommend in those instances? Like, how do you get those thoughts out of your head?
So we're going to remember that the thoughts are of this, they're going to happen in you. And I feel like we shared that earlier of how fast you come out of it. It's living in the now, being in the present moment, and really giving those key points and exercises or key points throughout the day. And, I feel like being kind to yourself, saying, I'm doing it. And these thoughts, I'm still human. They're going to happen. And really, maybe sometimes it only takes like 5 minutes just to drop into that energy. And I tap my heart and my head at the same time. And I'm like, is that truth? Is that real? Does it feel good? And then you let the thought go. And a lot of thoughts don't qualify for your time. They're just taking pieces of you that's unnecessary. You'll start to automatically feel that. And it's like that way of being that we were talking about earlier, is that once you do that, and I invite you right now that this you do. Wow, and I feel like that you're like a hamster on a wheel. And you must do that in waves. So let's do this. When this happens, you'll breathe in, take a deep breath in. Bring it down from the right side of your crown, so it's like you're bringing in the white light from the right side, and you're kind of moving the light to the left side. This is going to activate the brain. It's going to slow down the brain, and it's going to bring some higher intelligence of yours in. Touch your forehead and the middle of your chest, and breathe. there's a blank space there, right?
Yes.
That is what you need. See how simple that was to be in the gap, and the longer you do that little exercise, you breathe in and you breathe out, and your monkey mind starts going. You try that little exercise, and you'll feel that gap is longer and expands more until your way of being is to tap your forehead, tap your chest, and it's gone. You're in harmony with stuff. Doesn't mean chaos isn't going to happen, but it's how you deal with the chaos while you're in it. And the harmonious words and emotions that you get to share by observing an unconditional love. So let's clear that out of your back. Did it move down to your back?
Yes.
Okay. I can't tell if it's the right or left side, so I'm just going to hit you I'm just going to tap you right in the middle. So breathe through your nose into the small of your back. There you go. And it's going to expand in your legs. You might feel like you're going to wet your pants, but that's okay. Don't wet your pants, but it just might feel like it. You can wet your pants, I guess, but wow, we needed a laugh. Do you feel that burst of joy also? Just move that right out of your back, and you're very clear now. So simple steps like that, stay in that gap, and
just be patient.
That was great.
You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. You have an amazing rest of your day, and remind your friends that we do live healings on and Q&A. Anything that is coming to you, we are here every Wednesday from 4 to 5.
Absolutely.
Thank you
guys. You're the best.
Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Oh, there you go. Thank you. What a beautiful, beautiful day. So it seems simple just to stay in the groove and in the gap, but we do have an understanding that everybody has their challenges. We've all this has been a practice for me for 10 years, longer. I was born awake. I've always been different. I've always seen the angels. So I feel like that as much it's just my way of being is to give compassion and be compassionate and love. But I do realize through a lot of clients and things that's not a natural instinct for most. And so,
well, it's because they've been conditioned, for so long. And that's why I was saying just be patient, because it took you so long to get there. It doesn't happen overnight, and it is a daily practice.
And that's important because the first client said that the same thing as how do you get there, and the second one seems like, the caller seems like they have the same as how do you get there? How do you stay there?
Yeah.
Well, and the first caller, she was talking about her beliefs, like she was brought up with certain beliefs, and so it's so true. Like you just have to let go of it. It does take time because things feel awkward because you're like conditioned to do this on this day, or you're conditioned to behave this way, or you're just brought up that way.
And people don't understand how strong that conditioning is.
Yeah,
because it's not only a learning behavior; it becomes a physical
part
behavior
of you.
Because you're if you look at it scientifically, your brain, when you think about those things, releases the chemicals that create that emotion feeling that you feel inside of your body, right? So you think, you feel, and it's a process, a physical process now that you're somewhat addicted to. So of course it's like overcoming an addiction almost, right? You have to get over the addiction of thinking and feeling a certain way to think and feel a new way, and that takes time.
Or even it's like routine. You just are used to doing it, like a habit.
Absolutely.
It's like
you wake up every morning thinking 90% of the same things you thought the day before.
Yeah. I did want to say something. Well, you were talking about we're here for this physical experience, and I recently went snowboarding for the first time, and that just makes me think of a physical experience.
You said you were going to do that, so
it
I'm
was
glad you
so
did.
fun. I fell, but I kept a lot, but I kept getting up, and I got the hang of it for just like a few seconds, enough to be like, I gotta go back. So I'm like dying every week. I'm like, I'm gonna go back.
So we're super, super excited to invite you back to call. It looks like maybe we're gonna only have time. We'll have the most amazing time for about 2 callers, and so be that caller next week. We'll take callers from about 4:36 or 4:40. I don't know the time frame, but it seemed like after the meditation, or just call in after 4:30. The first part of the show will be discussion, and we'll have the open discussion. The second is the meditation and open for a Q&A and healing. So I I know I'll be here next week. What about you too?
Yeah, I could be here. And my sister, she would like to be a guest. She told me, I don't know when, but she said, I would like to be a guest. So I said, I will let Nicole know.
Perfect. So each week, check in. We'll have different people. So that's different ideas. That's different ways of being. That's so much more joy than one little room. Woohoo!
Yeah.
And also, if you'd like to be on the show, Skype wise or phone calls, you can also call one of us. You can reach me at energyhealingbydesign.com or phone number 435-319-0951, or you can reach
April Betty at handshealinghearts.com. Are you going to be here next week?
I have to look at my schedule to see if I'll be in town next week.
Busy.
And Will Miller, you can reach me at Will Miller at lifebydesigninstitute.org.
And I hope you guys had an amazing holiday. We took a couple weeks off due to traveling. I went to Bali, Christmas, all this amazing stuff. And so we are back each week at the same time, 4 o'clock, 4 to 5, every Wednesday. Again, we have a meeting on
February
6th. Yeah, follow that on Energy Healing. And it's also shared on all of our pages. So, and we're really excited for next week. Have the most amazing week.
You've been listening to Return to Consciousness with your host, Nicole Ashton, creator of Energy Healing by Design, a world-renowned healer and luminary whose life after death experience has allowed her the gift of empowering people around the globe to heal and grow in their true authentic space. For audio and or video of this, go to Facebook or YouTube, Podbean or Spotify, and search Radio St. George or radiostgeorge.com. We invite you back next Wednesday at 4 o'clock for Return to Consciousness with Nicole Ashton on Radio St. George 100.3 FM.
KDXI, St. George.
From Radio Dixie in St. George, Utah, I'm Stephanie Dupar. Today is Wednesday, January 15th.